Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday. Come on in. Pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, interestingly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard, everyone. Tonight is Thursday, May 1st, 2025. This is live stream 1183. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 83. Welcome aboard, everybody. If you're not overly familiar with this show, let me point out it's super casual around here. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. And then I will usually take a first look at a game. That's what we're going to be doing tonight. And then every once in a while, I might actually pontificate about a topic related to our hobby. But on tonight's show, we're going to dive on in. We're going to take a first look at Outgunned, as well as Outgunned World of Killers from Two Little Mice and Free League Publishing. So if you are tuning in to check out those first looks, do want to let you know we tackled the tabletop gaming news first around here. So it'll probably be about 35, maybe 40 minutes before we get on into those first looks. So if you're watching live, just kick back, relax, enjoy yourself. If you are watching on Memorex after the fact, there are timestamps. You will find the timestamps in the show notes, as well as, depending on the device you happen to be using to watch this, might even find it right there in the timeline. You can click right on that if you want to skip ahead past the tabletop gaming news. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. And then, of course, because this is a live show, there is chat available. It's not on screen. One of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. And, of course, you must be a subscriber to the channel for at least 10 minutes before you can take part in chat. So if you are a subscriber for at least 10 minutes and you want to say howdy, maybe got a question, comment, by all means, chime in. I will do my very best to respond. First out the gate tonight is the Madman. Yes, our friend of the show, the Madman, who also happens to be one of our chat moderators. Sean O'Donnell is hanging with the gang, as is Semper Buffo, Jeff Witty Art, which I believe this is the first time that we have had them hanging with us in chat. Welcome. And Mike is also with us tonight as well. Jeff Witty Art says, sweet, I made a live show. All I had to do was visit my folks in Chicagoland. Flew in from Korea for the Goodman Games Dungeon Con. Yes, actually, this weekend, as far as I understand, out in Fort Wayne, Indiana, it is going to be I think it's the Goodman Games. I think they just call it the warehouse sale. You have to get a ticket, and then it's at least 20% off anything in their warehouse. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. And I think corresponding with that is the Goodman Games Con. Nice. Very nice. Anywho, also do want to mention, if you want to support the Gaming Gang, we do have a Patreon. That link is also found in the show notes. And of course, hang with the gang over on our Discord server. You will find the invite link You guessed it, in the show notes. Very nice. All right, so let's jump on into the news because Forgotten Ruin, the adventure war game, is now available in print and PDF from Modiphius Entertainment. Here's the scoop. The battlefield has never looked like this. A time of danger, a secret mission, mysterious tech. Now you and your platoon of rangers are in a strange world inhabited by orcs, sorcerers, and dragons. Forgotten Ruin, the adventure war game, takes you to the strangest battlefield yet, pitting state-of-the-art firepower against fantastical monsters. Just hope the orc horde runs out before the ammunition does. Based on the Forgotten Ruin book series, the rules are powered by the 5X game system from 5 leagues from the borderlands and 5 parsecs from home, unleashing the same solo adventuring thrills. Command your squad while the game rules control your enemies as they move and fight. You can even play with a friend by splitting your squad into 2 fire teams or designating one of you to control the enemy, like a game master. This adventure war game offers an exciting mix of tabletop tactics for miniature figures and randomly generated campaign play, providing a unique, story-rich experience. Inside the 160-page full-color, royal-sized hardback book, you'll find full rules for miniatures combat on strange battlefields, including powerful heavy weapons, leadership tactics to customize your squad, spells, and off-map fire support. Stats for an array of foes to fight. 20 enemy forces with 6 different types, such as assassins or archers, as well as 20 huge monsters that challenge your firepower. Rules to turn enemy champions into recurring villains. Campaign rules, objectives, and rewards, including magical treasures, advancements, and best of all, transformations. Ever wanted to be a centaur with a machine gun, an elf sniper, or just a squad leader with a spell book? Your soldiers will not remain the way they were, and the changes can be quite unpredictable. This 160-page hardcover with PDF carries an MSRP of $45. If you want to grab just the PDF alone, you can do so over at DriveThruRPG for $20. I am not familiar with the Forgotten Ruin series, although I have mentioned in the past that I listened to the Galaxy's Edge audiobooks. I haven't listened to all of them because now they're in like a 3rd season or what have you. But I listened to the first, I think it was a dozen that made up the first series. Kind of interesting. They were trying to out Star Wars in many ways. And I believe Forgotten Ruin is one of the 2 authors from Galaxy's Edge with another co-author as far as this series goes. I've heard mixed reactions to this. Tell you what else is kind of a cool, well, it's not really a series. It's only 2 books. If you've ever checked out Doomfarers of, I always pronounce it Coromand. I think it's Coromande or something like that is how it's supposed to be pronounced. That was a fantastic couple of books where it's this squad finds themselves transported from the jungles of Vietnam to this fantasy world. Good stuff. Very, very good stuff. I'm trying to, if I remember right, I think it's Brian Daly who wrote those. Pretty sure it was Brian Daly, the late, great Brian Daly. So there is that. All right, let's see who else we got popping on into chat. We've got Kathy Evans, Wallona's Cave, Robert Reynolds, Testy Trekkie, Jeff Hanks, Jack Hanks. Yeah, Jeff Hanks is with us. So is Tom Hanks. Yeah, all right, Colin Hanks. Colin Hanks is hanging out. It's been a long day. That's all I got to say. And Robert Santon is also with us tonight. It's like chat is off and rocking Let's move on to our next news piece because I've got another miniatures news piece. I know, 2 in one show. What's going on? This month is going to see the release of the second edition of Burrows and Badgers. I've got the lowdown from Osprey Games. The Kingdom of Northumbria is a land in turmoil. King Redwolf is missing, and his son rules as regent in his stead, facing threats from within and without. Growing dissension among the knights and nobles of the realm, whispers of revolution from the free beasts, hillfolk raiding the borders, and bandits of all stripes making the most of the chaos. Burrows and Badgers 2nd Edition is a revised and expanded version of the popular tabletop skirmish game set in the ancient realm of Northumbria, a kingdom where mice, badgers, toads, and other animals wear armor, wield swords, and cast magical spells. This updated edition contains new content, including new background material, new species, warband types, and a whole host of new spells, skills, and equipment. Each model in Burrows and Badgers 2nd Edition represents an individual character and can be selected from a wide range of species, from the humble mouse to the mighty badger, and armed and equipped as desired. Scenarios link into ongoing campaigns where heroes and villains may make their names, and the assistance of infamous mercenaries might mean the difference between victory and defeat. Lead your warband from battle to battle and uphold the name of your faction, whether you stand with Reinert's royalists, the free beasts of the Fox families, or simply for your own glory or survival. This 272-page hardcover is going to carry an MSRP of $35 when it arrives on May 28th. The PDF will be available then for $24.50. You will also be able to get the EPUB for that same price. I don't know if we'll have an opportunity to take a peek at this or not. Osprey Games is kind of hit or miss. Sometimes things just show up out of nowhere. It's like, oh, okay. And then stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, I would like to get a peek at that. Nothing. Just never shows up. Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. I will say though, this game is actually created by Oathmark Miniatures, who we will see from time to time Osprey Games that utilize miniatures. They show photography of, it's usually North Star miniatures as well as Oathmark miniatures. And I believe they've got like over 270 different minis for Burrows and Badgers. So if you are into any sort of anthropomorphic fantasy, animal role-playing games or miniatures games, you might want to go take a peek because they might have exactly what you're looking for. All right, so Walona's Cave asks, is Osprey Publishing the ones that do Frostgrave? Yes. Yes, it is. They do Frostgrave. They do quite a few skirmish level miniatures games. The one thing that we do tend to see, and I mention this all the time, especially when we're looking at an Osprey Games role-playing game, they do a lot of stuff that's just one and done, sadly. So now I'm not saying that with this because I believe this is a game that's also supported by Oathmark Miniatures with various different supplements and such. So keep that in mind, that there's a little bit more to this than just, oh, well, it's going to be a one and done. Like, oh my gosh, so many of the Osprey Games releases that we've taken a peek at over the years, and I've reviewed over the years as well. But I got to say, this looks pretty interesting. It really does. And I would really love to get more miniatures info out to you. Got a decent enough camera set up. We can share you some pretty nice close-up shots of minis. We've done that with the Steam Forged Games Epic encounters lineup. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Chris Lundgren is popping on into chat. Good to see you once again. And of course, I guess Buddy the Cockatiel is joining us also. So today is Traveler Day. Not sure if you knew that, but it is. It is a celebration of the Traveler role-playing game. And yet another bundle of holding has landed, which celebrates the history of the venerable role-playing game. I've got the deets on the deal. Traveler. We've resurrected the May 2023 FASA Traveler Bundle, featuring PDFs of the early 1980s classic Traveler supplements published by FASA Corporation. Later known for Battletech and Shadowrun, FASA started as a Traveler licensee, publishing Starship deck plans and adventures, many by the prolific designer J. Andrew Keith and his brother William. Still admired today, these modules represent old-school Traveler design at its best. Now, this revival gives you a new opportunity to get those PDFs of almost the entire FASA Traveler line for an unbeatable bargain price. For just $9.95, you'll get all 8 titles in this revived offers FASA Starter Collection, which has a retail value of $66 as DRM-free PDFs, including 15mm scaled deck plans for the luxury spaceliner King Richard, along with its accompanying module Action Aboard, Adventures on the King Richard, 5 classic Traveler adventures, Harensa Project, Ordeal by Eshar, Rescue on Galatea, Stazhuk Report, and Uragnags of the 7 Pillars, and the large map set for a towering starport hotel complex. And if you pay more than the current threshold price of $20.52, you'll level up. Also get this Revival's entire FASA bonus collection with 12 more titles worth an additional $104, including the much admired Sky Raiders module trilogy by J. Andrew Keith and William H. Keith, the FCI Consumer Guide Equipment Book, 4 sets of Starship deck plans, Leander, Fenris, and Valkyrie, Tethys, and Blizzalolt, and 4 collections of ship plans in FASA's FASA Adventure Class Ships series. These savings will run through May 14th. And I want to say that Bundle of Holding has 6 bundles planned. And they are scheduled to, or I should say slated to, take a look at various different eras of the Traveler history. So we did talk about some classic Traveler yesterday. Now we're sticking with classic Traveler, but by way of FASA. Kind of curious if we're going to see some Mongoose. I thought just maybe we would see a Humble Bundle pop up today, maybe with some Mongoose Traveler. Sadly, no. Did not arrive. In fact, I haven't seen a new role-playing game bundle on Humble Bundle for quite a while now. Kind of surprised. Usually there's at least 1, sometimes as many as 3 bundles for RPGs. Not right now, though. Anyway, stay tuned. We will have more news of Traveler bundles of holding next week. Currently up for crowdfunding is Mad as Hell. Here's the lowdown from SoulMuppet Publishing. Demons are real and they must be confronted. Your goal is always to destroy the harm that makes the demon. But until you can, you must destroy the demon. Until you do, your communities will not be safe. People will die. The evils of capitalism have torn holes in the fabric of the world, allowing demons to hunt the vulnerable and make life hell. As radicals in Mad as Hell, you'll work with the community to hunt down these monsters and bring an end to the quiet violence that brought them into existence. Mad as Hell is a new anti-capitalist demon-hunting tabletop role-playing game by SoulMuppet Publishing, written by Evie Moriarty, with illustrations by Per Jenk, Scrap Princess, and Alex Ekman-Lawn. Play as radicals, members of various communities, banding together to fight the literal demons of capitalism. The only way to kill demons is to understand what quiet violence created them in the first place. Work out how to solve that problem and turn it into a weapon. You might kill a demon of moldy water with a purifier, a demon of poison-laced diet drugs with its own reflection, or a demon of bigotry with a pride flag. Unless you address the root cause of the problem, the wound in the world will continue to fester, and the demon will be reborn, free to wreak havoc. To defeat the demon truly, you need to make meaningful social change in your communities and help those around you. To keep your communities safe in Mad as Hell, you have to learn the tools of direct action and how to apply them to the world. You can reserve a copy of the hardcover with PDF for a pledge of approximately $47, or score just the PDF alone for a pledge of approximately $20 through June 1st. Expected delivery is this October. Pete Strakolich is joining us, says, hey, I love Scrap Princess. Art is like a nightmarish frequency. I'll be the first to say that, not a fan. Just don't care for their artwork. Okay, I take that back. I've seen some of their artwork, like their artwork for some of the Lamentations of the Flame Princess releases. Nah. But then again, funny enough, it's possible that that's just some stuff that they've done, that all their artwork isn't always the same. I don't know. I have no idea. Chris Lundgren says, nope, too weird for me. Tessie Treggy says, like the cover, I'm digging the SoulMuppet anger. Yeah, SoulMuppet does a few role-playing games. Best Left Buried is probably their best known. And I liked it quite a lot. Robert Reynolds says the cover has a bit of a They Live vibe. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Melona's Cave says there's new Pathfinder on Humble Bundle. That must have popped up this afternoon because I was putting my news together this morning and I took a look. There was nothing. So if we do have a new Pathfinder, I will be sure to share that on next week's show. Probably on Tuesday, we'll get that out. All right, final news pace. Heading to print is the Dungeon Crawl Classics Annual Volume Number 1. And here's the latest from Goodman Games. A book that has become a legend, despite never before being published. The DCC RPG Annual was originally conceived as an annual publication that would exist in some form to showcase the brilliance of the Dungeon Crawl Classics role-playing game community. This would be the DCC RPG Annual, published each year to distribute these gaming creations. The best of things happened. The DCC RPG Annual was never needed. The DCC community burst forth a verdant jungle of inspiration with ripe fruit on every limb. Blogs and personal posts, zines, community publications, the Gong Farmer's Almanac, officially licensed third-party works. There's a vast supply of inspiration from whence the Dungeon Crawl Classics judge can draw and iterate. Still, Goodman Games had a wealth of material that needed a home, so the DCC RPG Annual became a reality. Here's what you're going to find in this volume. New magic, new quests and journeys. Explore the lost continent of Mu. New judges' rules, new magic items, new monsters, and mustaches. Yes, you heard that right. There are rules for mustaches in the book. You know you need it. You absolutely do not need the DCC Annual to play Dungeon Crawl Classics, nor does any material in this annual supersede or otherwise change the baseline game experience. as expressed in the core rulebook. There's no rules bloat, only new vistas of imagination. This 212-page hardcover is slated for a May 7th release. It's going to carry an MSRP of $49.99, or you can grab the PDF right now over at DriveThruRPG for $29.99. So here's what's thrown me a little bit. So I know that the PDF of this has been out for years. It is being made to sound like this will be the first time that the DCC RPG Annual Volume 1 is available as a hardcover. I don't believe it has ever been a hardcover before, but I'm not sure. I'm not. I was trying to look to see, is this just a new print run? Do not know. Do not know. So, Pete Strakowitz says, this is a beautiful book. Most of it is awesome patrons. Yes, as you can see, I am sharing some images from the patron section of the volume. Right there. Justica, as I pronounced it. So that is a deity, essentially, the goddess of law and justice. But you can utilize them as a patron. Yes. All righty. So that is it for the tabletop gaming news tonight. Of course, just talking about DriveThruRPG. Don't forget the gaming gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you're going to go visit DriveThruRPG, Wargame Vault, Dungeon Masters Guild, Storyteller Vault, any of those One Bookshelf sites, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I'll get 5% of that sale. All those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do go a long way to help keeping thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like the video, if you dig the channel, if you find the Gaming Gang to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, you can always stop on by Patreon and become a member. That's right. We do have a Patreon now, and the link is in the show notes. So, of course, I have some folks out there who are members of the Patreon at $10 or more. I give them a shout out each and every show. We have got the Madman, Testy Trekkie, Dan Webb, Tier 2 DM, Game Cat, and just recently, Pete Strakowitz has also joined the Patreon. So thank you very kindly to all of you out there who are helping to support our Patreon. Much appreciated. The Vampire Castle Gaming is joining us. Chris Leonard says, I love DCC and MCC. I have to get off my butt and run a game. I own them both. Just too many RPGs, not enough time. Yeah, Chris is always talking about all the different stuff he's got. He just bought Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. So it's like, geez. Chris says he's got an RPG question. Fire away. What would you like to roll by? Yes, the Vampire Castle Gaming says, oh, by the way, you could just call me Vampire or Vamp. Short of that way. Chris Lundgren asks, what are the levels of the Patreon? 5, 10, 25, and 50. Those are the levels of the Patreon support. The 50 a month actually gets you at least one PDF of a game that gets covered during that month. So, and I made a mistake. I accidentally, the other day, for some oddball reason, I was thinking it was at the $25 level. So I had mentioned that the Madman was going to receive a PDF of Tales of Argosa. And then I was like, oh, wait a second. That's at the $50. But I still sent the Madman the PDF of Tales of Argosa I said I was going to do it, so I did it. I am a person of my word. So there you have it. There you have it. I was going to say we're going to have a yearly option for the Patreon. Patreon's pushing it on me, so I'm just going to float it out there. It'll be an option at whatever tier. So for the $25 tier, it also, you get an invite to hang with us at conventions, you know, have a adult beverage and things like that. And then at the $50 pledge level, there are a few different things. And it is basically giving you also the opportunity to game with us at a convention that we attend. So there is that. Yes, the Madman says, I am a man of my word. Well, I try. Hey, like I said, I was like, spoke out of turn, but still took care of it. Definitely took care of it. Let's see. Chris says their friends want to play a Star Wars role-playing game. They've decided to learn one system. All right, so I have to ask Chris, how many games are you looking at running? Because every time you turn around, you're telling us about some other game that you're looking to run. You can't run them all. So we're not talking Pokemon here. I'll tell you one thing. Don't get caught up in the rat race of game rules. And trust me, myself and many of those watching both live and on Memorex have fallen into that trap where it was like, oh, Cult of the New. Oh, that looks interesting. I'm going to pick that up. And thankfully nowadays, you have outlets like my own who are going to tell you in a relatively quick amount of time if something is worth picking up or not, sometimes before it even goes on sale to the public. Back in the day when I got into this hobby, we would pick up a magazine and it would have a review of something that came out 6 months ago, and we bought it, and it was like, yeah, this is crap, everybody. It's like, it was like, damn it. Yes. Yeah, there you go. Tessie Trekkie says, Chris, are those RPGs STDs? You can't catch them all, nor do you want to. Bam says they have a Call Nicole for Vampire the Masquerade role-playing game is entitled Tokyo by Night in and Night at Gotham City. Chris says they want to play classic era, not any of the Disney stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, you can still get your hands on, last I saw, and it's been a while, but you used to be able to get the West End Games D6 Star Wars, just about everything that was ever released for it in PDF for free. There was a website that was out there that shared the PDFs. I'm sure some of them were probably scans. And then there were also, I was going to say, it was a chronicle that Vamp was talking about. I'm like, call Nicole. I'm like, not sure what that is. It's like, okay. But if you want to check that out, please do. Chris, you got to look this stuff up, man. I'm not Google. You have Google. Use your Google foo. But and as far as I understand, there was no like copyright problem or anything like that. The folks who were involved with West End Games were like, yeah, okay. It's like, all right. I just told you, Chris, which one to go look for. The West End Games D6 Star Wars. Are you with us, Chris? Is there like a delay? that I'm not aware of. Alrighty, so that's Chris's question for tonight. There you go. Well, Jeff Woodyard, enjoy your stay in the Chicagoland area. And hopefully you enjoy the show when you're back in Korea at, of course, watching on Memorex, no doubt. All right, so we are going to dive on in. We're going to start taking a look at Outgunned and Outgunned World of Killers in just a few moments. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
Our hamburgers are the finest, quality beef expertly prepared for extra deliciousness. Treat yourself royally right now. What a hamburger.
Why does a Tootsie Roll last such a long, long time? Because inside every big Tootsie Roll, there are exactly 700 chews. Exactly. When you chew the chocolatey outside, you're really chewing the inside. Because the chewy inside goes all the way through to the chewy middle. From your first chew to your last chew, a Tootsie Roll is chewy all the way through. From the bottom, the top, in between, and at both ends. In fact, inside every big Tootsie Roll, there are exactly 700 chews. Exactly. Boys and girls of America, if you want a candy that lasts and lasts, get Tootsie Roll. They last a long, long time.
Look at Johnny and Janie Black, watching and wishing they had a snack. Hello, what's this? Hang on to your chairs, our three friends, the honey bears.
We heard you were wishing for something to eat.
Something delicious,
Something sweet.
and here's the treat that can't be beat.
Oh, Sugar Crisp, it's fun to eat.
As a snack or a cereal, it's a dream. You don't need sugar,
Just milk or cream.
it's already sweetened. We hope you've noticed.
Each single puff is candy coated.
Sugar Crisp is fun to eat three ways. As a cereal with milk or cream, as a snack any time of day, or as candy right out of the box. Remember,
As a cereal, it's dandy.
For snacks, it's so handy.
Or eat it like candy.
Post Sugar Crisp.
the red, white, and blue package with the three bears on it.
Awake, Sleeping Beauty. It's Prince Charming with Wilkins Coffee.
I don't drink Wilkins.
I waited 100 years for this old hag.
In Rocky IV, he fought for his country.
What the hell is this?
Now, Dolph Lundgren is taking off his gloves and taking on an entire army. One man at a time. Red Scorpion.
The impetus behind the rebellion is this man. He is your targeted objective.
His one mistake meant a death sentence.
I leave you as an insult to your people. How could you fail?
Their one mistake
We'll have a band-aid. You're breaking my bleeding heart, Moose.
was not finishing the job.
We will deliver our response. This is the Rebel Army.
Pride of the Soviet Army.
First he was their weapon. Now he's their punishment. They think they control him.
Let's kick some.
Think again.
You might need some help!
Dolph Lundgren. Red Scorpion.
I'm confused. Why did the kid lick the wrapper for Tootsie Roll? Tootsie Roll never sticks to the wrapper. It's like, damn, kid. He's like, yes. Pete's Dracula says they've never seen Red Scorpion. Checking Tubi tonight. It might be on YouTube for free. I don't know. Do not know. It is not a well-regarded action movie. That is for sure. But hey, you know me. I like to share trailers. Not always, but usually for crappy movies. I figured, hey, we're looking at Outgunned. It is cinematic action, so let's share a trailer from a cinematic action movie from the 80s that is not well regarded. Nice. All right. So, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to dive on in and take a look at Outgunned, as well as Outgunned World of Killers. Both are from Two Little Mice and Free League Publishing, written by Ricardo Sirignano and Simon Formicola. I know, I'm nowhere near pronouncing those correctly. They are both volumes are written by those two. I do believe they are the Two Little Mice of Two Little Mice. The first book we're going to look at is Outgunned. It is a 224-page hardcover. You can get it with PDF for an MSRP of $50. If you want to grab just the PDF alone over at DriveThruRPG, you can grab that for $19.99. All that said, swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Outgunned. I'm looking forward to checking this out because I've heard really good things about Outgunned. So we're going to be having some fun here. A few things I want to mention before we jump on in. First of all, the fine folks over at Free League Publishing were kind enough to provide me with these two review copies. But, of course, neither I nor anyone else affiliated with Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. It's important you know that. We're also not going to look at each and every page of these books, but I do want to give you a really good feel for what's inside. I also believe that we have adventures in both these books. So if your Game Master has picked up Outgunned, maybe they just haven't started running it yet, you've been warned. You have been warned. I have reached out to Free League Publishing to see about checking out the adventure supplement for Outgunned. And there is also a superheroes supplement. I believe it is available for pre-order right now. So let's take a look at the back here. In a world where ruthless villains plot in the shadows to steal nuclear launch codes and bring entire nations to their knees, where crooks in suits and personal armies to amass wealth greater than anyone can imagine, where absolute madmen laugh while playing with human lives, or blackmail the White House with outlandish demands, and where someone decided to kill the wrong dog, only a hero can save the day. Now, are you ready for action? That's going to tell us what's in the book, but we're going to find out for ourselves. So let's dive on in. And this is an A5. Actually, I think this is maybe a little bigger than an A5, just a touch. Hardcover here. And I will tell you, nice paper stock. Very, very nicely done. So it looks as if we're going to start off with our character creation, then our rules, impending danger, gear up, face the enemy, and mission start. I'm going to take a guess is going to be our game master facing info. So let's take a peek at our credits page. So all of the art is by one artist whose name I will not even attempt to butcher because I certainly will if I try to pronounce that. I like the art as well. You know what's interesting? We always tend to see these European role-playing games. Their art is always really, really solid. Especially stuff that we see from like Italy. I think this is out of Italy too. I think Two Little Mice are out of Italy. But we see some really, really impressive looking role-playing games out of Europe. To play Outgunned, you'll need a couple of friends, some paper, pencils, and a handful of 6-sided dice. One of the players will take on the role of director and be tasked with describing the world and portraying all of the extras, supporting characters, enemies, and the terrible villain. The other players will take on the roles of heroes, people ready to do everything it takes in order to carry out a dangerous mission and save the day. Core themes in Outgunned. Doing the right thing. What is the right thing to do? Who decides what is wrong or right? Alone against all. A small group of people can truly make a difference and change the world. Spirit of sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice for the greater good? Revenge and forgiveness. The obsession for payback or redemption may lead to a spiral of violence. Your real family. Friends are the family we choose. And the broken system. The villain is simply the product of a corrupt system. Who is the real monster? It looks like we've got some best practices. And we've got the making of a hero. 3 things you need to keep in mind if you want to be a hero. Someone with a mission. Doesn't matter if you're trying to find your daughter, clear out a bank vault, or save the world, or to avenge your puppy. You're on a mission and will do anything to succeed. Live dangerously. You must face dangers with courage, determination, and a pinch of recklessness. One of the good guys. You can be a hearth and home kind of hero who scrunches up their face every time their companions cuss, or a real bastard who's never thought of helping others without expecting something in return. Regardless of your character, deep down, you're one of the good guys. There we go. Tessie Trekkie says Outgunned is officially Broken Compass 2nd edition from memory. I believe you are correct. Although, doesn't somebody else own Broken Compass now? So these are our archetypes, right? Oh, our roles. Got the commando, the fighter, the ace, the agent, the face, the nobody, the brain, the sleuth, the criminal, and the spy. When you choose a role, you gain 1 point in an attribute and 1 point each in 10 skills. You then choose 2 feats from the list of 6 for the role. So we got the commando. Their attribute point is brawn. Skill points, endure, fight, force. Cool. For a second, I thought that said coal. Yeah, I'm going to use my coal skill. What are you, minor? Yeah. Shoot, survival, leadership, fix, awareness, stealth. I will take a guess that these skills are going to be very broad. We've got the ace, race car driver, a motorcycle rider, a courier, an expert taxi driver, aircraft pilot. The face. Ooh, it's Dirk Benedict. A professional cheat, a celebrity, a skilled influencer, an artist, a wealthy entrepreneur. And then it gives us some ideas of some of our classic faces in film. That's cool. I like that. I wonder if there's any mention of Red Scorpion. I doubt it. Probably about as much chance of that being mentioned as Hell Comes to Frogtown. And yes, I would have shared that trailer from Hell Comes to Frogtown long ago, but it sets off the copyright, so I can't share it. Sorry. We got the brain. the criminal, and the spy. Classic spies in movies are Napoleon Solo in The Man from U.N.C.L.E., James Bond in 007 Spectre. Well, you just put any James Bond movie. Harry Hart in Kingsman. Lorraine Brockton in Atomic Blonde. I have not seen that. Harry Tasker in True Lies. Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible. The protagonist in Tenet. Lieutenant Archie Highcox in Inglourious Bastards. And Sadie Rhodes in Ghosted. Oh, so they're including like World War II movies in this? Okay. So you're going to choose your age. So you have young, adult, and old. Got our tropes, such as bad to the bone, hot stuff, mentor, trusty, sidekick. It says archetypes, not stereotypes. Adhering to a trope helps you dive straight into the action with a reasonably clear idea of how your hero will act during the mission. It also helps other players get an idea of who your hero is and how to interact with them. But you must be careful not to take it too far. Got it. So it looks as if these were the tropes here, which gives us attribute points and additional feat. We get skill points here too. Looks kind of interesting. So our attributes, we've got brawn, nerves, smooth, focus, and crime. Your aptitude for crime will come in handy when acting in secret or to notice incoming threats. It says you can have up to 3 points in each attribute and skill. So what I'm curious about is the action resolution here, because you're using 6-sided dice, but you're looking to, as far as I understand, roll groups of dice. So you are looking at like pairs and 3 of a kind and maybe straights. I don't know if it goes to that detail or that length, I guess I should say. But you're not looking at rolling dice, adding something to your die roll and like trying to beat a target number. It is not a dice pool system either, where you roll a handful of dice and you're looking for a particular face or higher to count up successes and stuff. So here we go. Action and reaction. There are 2 types of rolls in this game. Action rolls. What you do is up to you. You're free to choose what attribute and skill to call into play. Describe your action. Roll the dice. Here's an example. Johnny says, I can't allow him to escape. I follow him with my eyes, looking for a clean shot. Then I take it. I'll make an action roll. Nerves plus shoot. Reaction rolls, the director tells you what is happening and how to react. The attribute and skill you must use is up to them. Director says you're completely hidden in the ventilation system. When a mouse starts walking right across your face, make a reaction roll in nerves plus cool not to react. So when you're making a roll, you're always using 1 attribute and 1 skill. So I guess that's going to give you your dice pool. It says after you choose the attribute and skill, add up to 2 scores. That is the number of dice you must roll. There we go. Okay. To play Outgunned, you can use the special action dice made to allow you to spot successes easily. You can also use common 6-sided dice. Adrenaline, conditions, and gear can all modify your chances of success. Add 1 die for each +1 and remove 1 for each -1. Okay. Chris Leinrich says they found 2nd edition Star Wars on the Internet Archive for free. As I mentioned, if you dig around a little bit, I would take a guess it's probably still there. There is a website that's got all of it. All the adventures, all the supplements. And you got to keep in mind, West End Games Star Wars was utilized as canon by authors of Star Wars. Of course, now all those books are part of the, what do they call it now? Star Wars Legends. So it's not canon. But back in the day, I thought it was pretty wild that West End Games Star Wars, they did so much research and put so much work into that role-playing game that it was considered canon. I thought that was really wild. Okay. All things considered, you can never roll less than 2 dice or more than 6 dice. So we have roll difficulty, basic, a quick and easy action or reaction, like jumping over an obstacle, stealing the keys off a distracted agent, throwing something. Critical, a full action or reaction, like bursting through a sturdy door, jumping out of a window, earning someone's trust. We also have extreme, a truly demanding action or reaction, like picking the lock of a secure vault, shooting a speeding target at night in the pouring rain, persuading a sworn enemy to cooperate. And then we have impossible, a desperate action or reaction, like calmly exiting a car in the middle of a 180 while shooting at a tiny target, getting rid of a large group of enemies with nothing but a pencil, taking down a helicopter with a speeding car because you're running low on ammo, stuff from movie trailers. When you face a roll, the director is tasked with setting the difficulty, but they are not required to disclose it before you roll. Most rolls worthy of a hero are critical rolls. Usually that should be the difficulty of your actions and reactions. Whenever in doubt, a director can always use this as the difficulty of a roll. Basic rolls are small fry challenges, while extreme rolls are what you make in desperate situations. Impossible rolls are awfully rare, and you clearly were asking for it. Oh, looks like we've got a bookmark here. We have double difficulty. So you would have to do 2 basic, 2 critical, or 2 extreme. There's never 2 impossible. Okay, so here's our successes. Oh, so it's just matching them up. So it is not, there are no like straights or anything like that. Basic success, 2 of a kind. Critical success, 3 of a kind. Extreme success, 4 of a kind. Impossible success, 5 of a kind. And jackpot, 6 or more of a kind. Better with Bacon is with us in chat. Says that West End Games Star Wars is still canon. I did not know that. The lore is Legends, right. But the game still has its place in the history of Star Wars. Oh, of course. It most certainly does. Robert Santon points out they really like the size of the book. They bought the Molt book I reviewed a while ago. It was not a review. I haven't shared my review yet. That was only a first look. So Peace Drakowitz says, yep, they're going to be watching Red Scorpion tonight. Thanks, Jeff. Hey, I aim to please. Okay, so if you score a higher success than needed, the director can grant you even better outcome, a better outcome than you wanted, or give an important advantage. If you score a lower success, you can try to do something to mitigate partially the consequences of your failure. If you score more successes than needed, you can use them to take extra actions. I am going to guess that there's got to be a way for you to push your roll so you keep some and re-roll the rest, like Yahtzee as an example. So if you score a jackpot, you could become director for a turn. Well, you would need to be rolling 6 dice and get all 6 matching. It says, remember, we're not playing poker here. A full house is nothing more than a critical success plus a basic success. A flush is still a beautiful failure. Okay. So it says 3 equals 1, 1 equals 3. So 3 smaller successes are worth as much as 1 greater success. 1 greater success is worth as much as 3 smaller ones. So you can combine them. I wonder if that goes for the players assisting each other. Here's the reroll. Can't always get it right on the first try. After rolling the dice, you've scored at least one basic success. You can reroll. Rerolling drastically increases your chances of success, so I suggest you do it very often. When re-rolling, you take all dice that weren't part of a combination and roll them again. If after a re-roll, your result is better than the first, congratulations. Otherwise, you lose one of the previously scored successes. You choose which. Your new roll is considered better than the first if you roll an additional success, or if you transformed one of your successes into a greater success. So some feats will give you a free reroll in specific circumstances. All in. After making a reroll or free reroll, you got a better result. You can still choose to go all in. Once more, roll all dice that weren't part of a success like you would for a normal reroll. If you get a better result, Lady Luck has smiled upon you. But if you do not get a better result, you lose all previous successes. It's called going all in for a reason. And there's our recap. So now we know how the dice action resolution works. So talking about successes, talking about failure. 4 ways to fail with style: roll with the punches, pay the price, take the hard road, face danger. This is going to give us an idea of the different kinds of rolls. So here's dangerous rolls. Oh, I guess we're going to get into combat now. The difference between a normal roll and a dangerous roll is that if you fail a dangerous roll, you don't face the usual consequences for a failure. Instead, you lose a set amount of grit depending on the difficulty of the failed roll. And I think grit is your wounds. When you lose an amount of grit, you must fill in an equal number of grit boxes on your hero sheet. Once all boxes are full, it means you've lost all grit. Well, yeah, okay. Your next mistake could be fatal. Okay, so there you go. So once you've run out, then you've got the chance of taking a dirt nap. It says, when you've already filled in all boxes and stand to lose more grit, things are going south. It will force you to take a spin on the death roulette and run the risk of being left for dead. Of course, we get info about how to recover grit. So we've got the gamble. A gamble is an extremely risky action or reaction, wager against all odds, that runs the risk of backfiring on the hero. Gamble rolls can either be dangerous or normal, but in either case, they carry a threat for you to lose additional grit. So I guess a dangerous gamble is going to be worse than just a dangerous roll. So it looks like we've got some conditions there. End of a hero, death roulette. Next to your conditions, there is a 6-bullet cylinder that represents the death roulette. The more this cylinder fills up with lethal bullets, the closer you are to your doom. When you're about to be left for dead, the director will let you take a spin on the death roulette, and a single die roll will decide whether you survive or you've finally rolled your last. It's quite the stakes, right? When the director asks you to take a spin on the death roulette, roll a numeric 6-sided die, because I guess there's special outgunned dice that you can buy that have symbols. But from what we've seen, you can easily just utilize regular 6-sided dice. If the result is greater than the number of lethal bullets in your roulette, you've made a narrow escape. Add a lethal bullet to your cylinder. Describe how you managed to cheat death once again. Keep on playing. If the result is equal to the number of lethal bullets or lower, I'm afraid to say you'll be left for dead unless a friend saves you at the last second by using one of their spotlights. Ha. So we've got our gear section here. So we've got our gun feats, different rides. I guess guess that's supposed to be the General Lee there. That's kind of funny. Face the enemy. All right, so what is this here? Fists and bullets. So, okay, so now I guess we're into our action turn with combat. Heroes are free to take any action they want and make the relevant action rolls. Additionally, all heroes can take a quick action for free. And then there's a reaction turn where the director states what the enemy's actions are, and the heroes defend themselves with a reaction roll. Okay. It's like we've got some examples there as well. So we've got the brawl. So it is a type of combat with or without weapons. So all rolls are action rolls. Means that with a single roll of the dice, heroes determine both if they manage to hit the enemy and if they were hit in turn. So if the hero makes their action roll and manages to match or beat the enemy's attack, then they landed a blow. If not, the hero loses an amount of grit to represent the blows landed by the enemy. Oh, okay, that's cool. So trying to cut down on the number of dice you're rolling. So we got different types of enemies. We got goons, bad guys, and bosses. So no doubt the goons are easily dispatched. Different bosses. So we've got some different boss templates. We have enemy feats. This looks pretty cool. Some chases. There we go. Need for speed. I was going to say, if you're going to be putting together an action RPG, you better have some chase rules. No doubt about that. Looks like we've got a few pages devoted to it. And then mission start. This is how you put together the adventures and campaigns. So this is Game Master facing here. It's talking about the villain. Yes, Mr. Bond, since I've got you captured, let me tell you all about my plans for world domination. You're like, okay. So are these like examples of missions? No, it's just parts of the mission. Many heroes, few heroes. Outgunned is designed to play with a group of 3 to 4 heroes who go on a dangerous mission with the help of a director. Playing a single shot with more or fewer heroes than that is no big deal, but playing an entire cinematic campaign with too many or too few heroes requires some adjustments. So we got some rules about the one hero army, like in Red Scorpion. Oh, there we go. So we do get an introductory adventure here. Race Against Time. In Race Against Time, the heroes have to retrieve a precious briefcase containing details about a secret experiment. When their contact lays an ambush for them, the heroes learn that the briefcase is about to be flown to an unspecified destination, and they have no choice but to start a desperate race to get on that plane. After an adrenaline-pumping chase, the heroes jump onto the plane 1 second before takeoff, coming face-to-face with a team of armed mercenaries protecting a man dressed in black who has a briefcase handcuffed to his wrist. And this is going to walk us through the process for that. We got a filmography here. Looks like these are characters probably from that adventure. Probably some pre-gens. Got our character sheet here. So I think that this is like maybe a campaign setup here. Here's our hero. There's our roulette. Nice. Looks kind of cool. All right. So that is a peek inside Outgunned. That is the core book. And then we also have World of Killers, which is the supplement. It's kind of a John Wick vibed supplement here. Oh, I was going to say, is that the same that was on the back of the other book? No, it's not. In a world where criminal families compete to control entire cities, locked in a violent game of chess on a blood-stained board, where an ancient secret organization controls the fate of billions and suppresses the voices of any dissidents, where killers in sharp suits hunt each other for a handful of gold coins just to add another notch to their gun, and where everyone is dreadfully dark and mysterious, only a hero can save the day. There's no going back now. All right. I will take a guess. We're probably going to see some new roles and probably some adventures, more adventures as well. So here we've got, here we go. More roles. Looks like we get a setting. Well, okay, some new rules. We've got a cinematic campaign. So not just an adventure. We get an entire campaign here. Nice. World of Killers is an expansion for the cinematic action role-playing game Outgunned, inspired by John Wick, Kill Bill, Leon, Assassin's Creed, and Hitman. In World of Killers, the players take on the role of heroic killers who must cooperate to carry out an impossible mission. I would think this is probably kind of a setting which you would try to be aiming for maybe more of a one-on-one. I don't know. Tessie Trekkie says, not John Wick vibe. John Wick with the name ever so lightly sanded off. Okay, so we've got 5 new roles, 1 special role, 9 tropes, and 20 new hero feats. All right. Let's see what we've got. We've got the samurai, a swordsman following a code of honor, an urban ronin, or a member of the Yakuza. The hired gun. Yes, little John Wick there, right there. John Wick and John Wick. So those are the classic hired guns. The aristocrats. Okay. The scion of a noble dynasty, a wealthy heir, or a member of an important criminal family. They also had the dog trainer, a bounty hunter with their 4-legged partner, an agent of the canine unit, or a hobo with their inseparable companion. Aha! So you get a sidekick there. There you go. All right, and we've got, gosh, I don't even know how that would be pronounced. Obviously, it's Nate. Nate 15E. I'm never good at like just picking up on those like right away. Like sedated man. I was like, C8D. Yeah, okay. We also got the derelict and the assassin. All right. So some of our tropes: battle butler, great performer. Honorable Demon, Just Wicked, Magnificent Bastard. Agile Monk is also popping on into chat. Welcome. Got the Professional. We've got the Saint. That was a good series. The Saint. You know, I always tell folks, if you want to become a better game master, listen to like old time radio shows. The Saint with Vincent Price, top notch. And Vincent Price plays a good guy. So that always helps too. So here's our world of killers. So this is our setting. Rules set in stone. Well, the first and the families are in charge of making decisions and establishing laws. There's also a complex structure that revolves around them, working tirelessly to ensure that nobody steps out of line and that everyone, from families to rats, keep playing their part. Well. Oh, little Godfather action there. This is giving us some ideas of places to set this. So we had like the mob, the Yakuza. Welcome to the Belmont. The world of killers is harsh, cruel, and wild, but there are scattered oases of peace, hotels with imposing facades that light up in the night, like Gothic cathedrals. I thought it was cathedrals. Dedicated to luxury and manners. Welcome to the Belmont. All right. We've got the rats. These are people deemed undesirables in every society. Whether people form a group, there are always going to be those on the inside, those on the outside, and those who inhabit the outermost circumference. In the world of killers, the third group is known as the rats. Killer life, job postings. Here's our new rules. So we have Plan B. Says, on top of the usual bullet Plan B, you can now rely on the Blade Plan B, which allows you to gain similar benefits by using a sharp katana instead of the traditional gun. So we have Blade and Belmont, a new currency, gold, new gear. We've got dogs, new conditions, new enemies, and a new mechanic, Need to Kill, to transform your approach to the target into a high-octane hunt. So not only do we have the dog, we also have a falcon, a monkey. That's cool. New conditions, drunk, blinded, and poisoned. New enemy special actions, on-demand enemies. Some templates there. A game example. I think that's the hunt. All right, so now we're going to have the cinematic campaign titled Family Business. So this is the adventure here. Family Business is a cinematic campaign in 5 shots set in the world of killers. Each shot comes with everything you need to start playing with no further preparation, and is also accompanied by some important pro tips to help you manage each scene in the best way possible and become acquainted with the new mechanics from World of Killers. Here's our summary. Ian Wilson, the manager of the New York Belmont, and an old acquaintance of the heroes, allowed 2 renegade killers to slip by him. The stone judge, Ito Masaki, gave him only 1 day to rectify this mistake, and the heroes are the only ones who can help him with the situation. The heroes hunt down the fugitives, but Ito Masaki still chooses to punish Wilson and renegade the heroes, thus revealing his evil plan to destabilize the world of killers. So there you go. There's a spoiler already. So there's our villain. There's our first shot in Love and War. So this is a scene-based role-playing game, obviously enough. Then we've got judge and jury. Looks like we've got quite a few scenes in each of these. From riches to rats. Okay, so Italian wedding. Yeah. Well, I've got to say, I am intrigued. I really am. Really, really am. Agile Monk says, I love The Saint with Roger Moore. Yes, that's a classic show too. The movie with Val Kilmer sadly wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. I think they had considered, oh, hey, we might have a tent pole on our hands. And it was like, no, it did not. So it looks like a fairly lengthy campaign there. And then it gives you some ideas as far as ending the campaign, as well as some sequels. We've got some handouts. It's like maybe these are pre-gens again. So also some pictures of the NPCs, the important NPCs. Get a bit of a filmography again. More character sheets. Kind of surprised we don't have an index. I did not see an index. I don't think there was an index in the other book either, was there? Take a look. I don't think there was. Nope. Yeah, kind of surprising. All right, so that is a peek inside Outgunned and Outgunned World of Killers. Both of these are from Two Little Mice and Free League Publishing. I will have reviews of these in the not too distant future. Remember, this carries an MSRP of $50. Also includes that PDF if you order from Free League Publishing. This carries an MSRP of $45. This PDF is $19.99 over at DriveThruRPG. This one is $14.99. Oh, I take that back. I think this is $14 even. And I think this is $19 even at DriveThruRPG. All righty. So let's see. Mike says, don't let your monkey companion eat bad dates. Poor monkey in Indy. Or if you watch the Righteous Gemstones, there's some monkey action in that. That's pretty funny. What a bizarre show. Good show. Crazy show. But man, Danny McBride comes up with some wacky stuff, I'll tell you. Okay, so that is it for tonight's show. As far as next week, we will no doubt get an opportunity. Well, okay, maybe I shouldn't say no doubt. Hopefully, we will have an opportunity to be taking a first look at the Pendragon Game Master's Handbook, which is supposed to be shipping out to me. Fingers crossed. But outside of that, I don't know. I've got some things. We'll see what's going on. I always keep my eyes peeled to see what's in transit as well. So as far as next week, I'm not sure. But like I said, we should have an opportunity to take a peek at that new Pendragon book from Chaosium Inc. Also, stay tuned tomorrow. I will share my review of Grit, fantasy role-playing from Gnomebot Studio. Pretty interesting stuff here. So definitely check this out. All right. So if you're watching live, thank you very much. If you watched live and took part in chat, a bigger thank you to you, tip of the cap even, because not only are you keeping me company, you're keeping each other company as I'm sharing the news or flipping on through a book, unboxing a game, what have you. Of course, I know a lot of folks out there, you don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. Thank you for taking time out to watch any of the over 2,100 videos here on the channel. Much appreciated. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit gaminggang.com for our latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you will not find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Don't forget, if you'd like to support the Gaming Gang, we do have a Patreon. The link to that is in the show notes. And be sure to hang with the gang over on our Discord server. There is an invite link also in the show notes. Yay. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Central. I'll also let you know when I share other videos, such as the aforementioned review of Grit. Yay. Thank you very kindly for watching. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and as always, I certainly hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.